Boom. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. This is Tio and the Arcane Bear, kind of our dives down rabbit holes to see where our adventurous conversations take us without breaking things. We've got Jesse Herman of the Let's Go platform. So Jesse, let's just dive right into it. What are you building? Explain to us, give us a distilled version first, and then introduce yourself afterwards.
Yeah, we're building the #1 decentralized crypto donation platform that operates off a split interest system, split yield. So essentially, we're the first where you can stake on an influencer, organization, community of any kind, and split the APY. So I could stake on my favorite charity, church, artist, and I could stake USDC, and then that person actually receives USDC. And I could stake, and then on top of that, like a rewards token or a dividend would be the ego token. And then I could determine what percent goes to them, what percent goes to me. You can of course stake on yourself as well. So those options are available. But yeah, it's the first of its kind as far as that goes. In addition, I mean, there's a lot more to this. We're going to launch social NFTs. We have where you can add social tokens to our network and get instant distribution to the network of influencers. So I can kind of walk you through a lot of that, make more sense rather than me just talking about it. But we're essentially, we think a solution or the solution to financial blacklisting, giving people an opportunity to collect donations on a recurring basis, like Patreon, where we actually have a paywall. If people are staking on you, you get access to that paywall. So that's a lot that I just said, but that's what we are.
Okay, great. And tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, my background is as a publisher. I've run essentially an influencer agency for the past 6-7 years, 20 billion video views for clients. I worked with top alternative health people, political people, won elections for people in Congress, believe it or not. It's just scary to think about, even for me. So that's my background. I love to produce content, scale content, work with teams, work with these clients. And that's how I came up with this concept of just sort of, okay, Patreon is essentially like, I think they're a great platform, but they have to deal with, credit card companies, banks, PayPal. PayPal partnered with the ADL. We have a commercial coming out about that where we attack both, which will be quite fun. And so we thought, well, I thought, what's the solution to that? In October, I did very well in the decentralized finance world. And I kind of connected the idea of staking on an influencer and splitting interests. Of course, I've been part of your community since last summer. So I appreciate some of the insights you guys dropped, and that probably helped in my creative direction for this project as well. But yeah, so that's the genesis. And essentially we've connected all sorts of influencers, and it's a growing network we just launched. And so, these people, as they make money on our platform, they're incentivized to promote the platform, just like Patreon. It's not just about like pumping our token, it's about pumping their own profiles. So that's where the idea came from. And the financial blacklisting that's been going on was really like the primary motivator for me actually to follow through with the idea. As I saw that people were losing access to these accounts, they're losing access to their social media accounts. But then when it entered the financial sector, I was like, okay, this is a bunch of crap that's happening. And this is the solution that for a lot of people, I think this would be the solution that they can, make piles of cash through and not have to worry about, PayPal telling them that they're bad people for objecting against certain health solutions, and these types of things.
Yeah, one of the favorite aspects of Bitcoin is censorship resistant money. I think what you're talking about is the relationship between the social context and someone actually being able to figure out the technology. Now there's kind of a broad spectrum here of ideas that you're trying to put together. Maybe take us over the platform, so we'll try to distill it down to something a little bit more tangible. You should have screen share capabilities there as well.
Yes, let me see if I can get this going here for you. Okay, So I just created a new wallet for you guys, but this is some of the participants we have on the platform. And this is how much they have in value staked on their profiles at the current moment. So, I mean, there's Dub Digital. Some of you guys might know him. Of course, Stefan Mon is like a Bitcoin OG, talking about since 2012. He joined the platform. Patriot J, JD Rucker, Roger Stone, Toby Turner. We finally got him to create his MetaMask wallet. You know, so there's a number of people. And so what you can do is, I mean, let me just find a lucky winner here and I'll go stake on somebody. I want to get somebody that doesn't have anything staked. We'll do awkward truth. I think a lot of truth is awkward. So I'm going to support this guy. Here he has his social media profiles. I can check him out, which I already have. And I can stake ego, right? I just want to, or I could stake like any stable cake. We're adding BNB in like a week or so. So let me just take you through this. So here I can stake USDT, which I have none in my wallets, but you know, here I could stake USDT. Awkward Truth will receive all the USDT rewards. And if you don't like that he receives all USDT rewards, you can stake on yourself, but you can stake USDT, he receives all the rewards. And then in addition, there's like a dividend or a rewards token, which is ego. And here I can split how much goes to him, how much goes to me. Now, this is, you know, what I'm telling the community is this person is promoting our platform. Like they're doing a great job. Everyone should take, even if it's a small percentage of what their holdings are, whether it's a stable coin, cake token, whatever it might be, and stake a little bit on them, like as a thank you, right? So we're kind of getting that community motivator going. So, and then if I just stake ego, I can just determine the split. And it's 10% minimum will go to the person or charity or church, whatever I'm staking on, and then, you know, up to 100%. So that's how that works. So it's just determining the APY split. If I want to sign up and set up an account, I need to be logged in through MetaMask. We will be compatible with more wallets, but right now it's just MetaMask, and I can just sign up. So it pulls in my address here. Like I said, I just created this wallet, and I enter my name, image. I can determine my category. Now, this part is actually my favorite part of the platform that a lot of people don't really understand. But I can decide
while we're here, one of the first things a lot of people are probably going to be wondering is like how do you guarantee that they, like, do they have to log in with their Instagram, or do they have to authorize the application to sign for these profiles to be created? Or could I just go and create Beyonce's account right now?
Yeah, well, it won't be verified. So you have to share your link on your social media to verify yourself. And I know there's, I mean, endless scammers and tricksters in crypto. We're very aware of that. So, but essentially through email or social media, you're going to have to confirm with us that it's actually you. So if you want to be Beyonce, Tijo, I'm sorry. We have a process to hopefully rule that out.
At this day and age, apparently you can be whatever you want, right? So
I know it could get a little tricky. Yeah. Yeah, no. So that's our verification process right now. I'm sure it'll improve over time, but yeah, that is how it works. But the only, like, I guess, form of censorship, if you will, that we have is if you're verified, a community can stake on you. If you're not verified, you can only stake on yourself. That's to prevent all sorts of weird things from happening. And you could, you know, I'll let your imagination run wild on that one, but we are preventing some BS with that feature. We decided we had to do that. But I mean, you know, your profile could just be a meme. As long as you can confirm it's you and, you know, attach it to social media and stuff like that, it could be a meme. Your profile could be like Gary Gensler, you know, is, you know, an evil man. It's a terrible meme. But like, you could think of some funny memes that people can create, and people might be like, okay, this dude's cracking me up, I'm going to stake on him. Like, it could be like silly stuff like that. You never know. So I'm really excited to see how people's imaginations run wild with this. But like I was saying, my favorite feature of what we're doing or one of my favorite features, is the fact that you can select and deselect what appears on your staking profile. So maybe you don't even want the ego token to display, that's fine. Maybe you don't like BUSD, that's fine. But where this, I think, could possibly become very powerful is as we add the social tokens, the community tokens, we bring in communities, they might already have a token that they want to add to our staking pool, or, and we've had people from Rally already apply for this, where like there was a comic book person that created a token on a Rally, and he wants to add it to our staking pools. So he's applied, and we're going through that process. We're not going to add any token. Like, you have to go through a process. You have to have a legitimate use case, not just on our platform, but outside our platform. If you're a company, you have to, be profitable. If you're an influencer, you have to have a community and tell us what the use case is going to be, and we'll go through that process. So as tokens get added, it's going to be categorized, and you can select and deselect. The example I always use is, if you're a church, you're not going to display an atheist token, but you will display charity tokens that you support, possibly, right? So that's like I think we could become the ultimate micro community, micro economy platform through that. And again, that all derives through this idea of split interest, split yield, and that you can stake on any organization. Essentially, you become your own decentralized platform. You can have your own URL, you can have your own template, and you can even take an embed code and put it on your own blog. We're talking to some existing social media sites that are quite large. They could put it on the individual profiles for people that want to provide their MetaMask address. So like, we really have built this to make it so that it's your decentralized finance platform. Like, that's our goal here.
I mean, one of the arguments is going to be, though, against that is that the ego token is like kind of a centralized source of the distribution of this platform itself. Whereas ultimately, we could make an argument that the content creators are vastly more valuable than the platforms. Yet we've built this kind of awkward relationship between the content creator and the platform quite often, where they stand as another secondary middleman. I've been interested in this social token conversation for a little while, and Roll was who we collaborated with the Bear token, because they've got these easy to distribute links, and we use it as a rewards token for a community, and people can stake it wherever they would like, technically wherever they would want to bridge and set up their own supply. How do you feel the integration of these ideas will succeed versus, say, the individual content creator and the individual content creator's token and community distribution system? Because I guess, for instance, part of my argument here is, like, I don't use Patreon. I don't use a pre-made platform. I built a website that accepts through I guess we used WooCommerce and WordPress or whatever. So we were using like a kind of build it yourself platform. But what's the disadvantage and the advantage of a kind of a centralized platform version like this is in comparison with the more like open source version? Like, I'm going to build my own website with my own NFT acceptance kit in there.
Yeah. So our smart contract is fully decentralized. And if somebody came to us and said, I want to build my own software on top of it, can you guys help me? We'd be open to that conversation. If there's something that you don't like about what we're doing, let us know. Like, we'll talk to you. This is what we've built, I think, to facilitate the needs of influencers. I mean, personally, I managed the top alternative health Facebook page that, our reach got completely taken away. I had to change, my whole monetization strategy. I had the top political page on Facebook. That person got banned from everything. So, this is completely disposable. What we like to say is, we're not a free speech platform. We're a free money platform where everybody's free to make money. And that's really our focus, is trying to allow creators to make money on our platform. That's 100% the focus. As far as like distribution of the tokens and the social tokens, the community tokens, however you might call it, I'll just say, like, I think every platform, and I know there's a lot of social token competitors emerging. They're just going to take on their own personality and their own culture. And so we're going to have our own personality and culture, and that's being developed. Others are going to have their own. I do think there's room for all sorts of styles, but our whole thing was we want to give everybody a unique experience. Now, as far as being centralized, we are like a Shopify in that way. So the disadvantages of being on Shopify is, well, you're going through their hosting, right? You don't have control over that. And they could pull the plug on you. I mean, they could pull the plug. Like we can't on a smart contract, but like on our software, technically we could. And that's just the reality when you go through any centralized network. Like I said, though, if you want to build your own software on top of our contract, like we'd be open to talking to you about that. I have no objections to that. If you have a strong community and and you're completely legit and you have a very good reason to want to do that, I'm fine with it. So
yeah, that's kind of where I thought I started to feel some of this was going, that what you would see as content creators would kind of the social token conversation hadn't really caught on yet. That I was actually surprised to some degree that the NFT sector superseded the social token conversation. Imagining someone like PewDiePie with a internal currency reward system, like, hey, you watch a video, we'll give you tokens, like we're randomly giving them away, and it builds up this huge nostalgia potential within the community. And you're talking about 100 million people on someone like PewDiePie. It's absolutely absurd. It's big, like huge amount of momentum within something like that. And ultimately what I liked about this too is that it is much more rewarding for the content creator themselves.
Yeah, I hear exactly what you're talking about, the NFTs superseding it. We are implementing social NFTs in about a month. And with that, you'll be able to buy essentially real estate. So it's not just like the NFT itself, but all the comments that come underneath it. So I know there's a lot of virtual lands and stuff you can buy, but this is like social media land that you're going to be able to buy. And we're talking to some huge social media influencers with huge Instagram followers, controversial ones, normal ones, like all shapes and sizes, that like we will make some noise. My marketing approach through all my clients, I work with weird people, like I guess weird people, geniuses, but people that are a little bit outside the norm. I mean, kind of like you, to be honest. And so I think that's just where I've always gravitated. And the way what we've done a lot of our marketing and got a lot of attention is through controversy. So you might see some of that, and I'm open to it. Like, this is not, I want this thing to just go wild. So we're going to bring in some people that have already been memed beyond belief. And we're having those conversations. It'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, it'll take on its own personality. If they want to just have their space on our platform exclusively, fine. If they want to take the embed code and keep it concentrated on their website, that's great too. If they want to work with us and create their own site and operate it through our smart contract, we're open to that conversation as well. I want to show you one quick feature. We do have the paywall. This is ready. It's not completely rolled out, but essentially if you want to have the paywall, you would just select here, and then right now we require 2,000 ego to be staked to view the paywall, but it'll be you can customize it according to your own profile, and you can accept other currencies as well. Like, you could require a stable coin to be staked. So it's not just about our ego token. Let me just show you an example of like the blog, like this is just an example. People can comment when they're logged in under their profiles. You can have videos, Win Moon. I mean, you're not worried about Win Moon because you accumulate when the market's down. So you're just like, you're this big brain guy, just, puffing on your psychedelics here.
You'd say when new moon.
Yeah, when new, okay. So essentially, like, if you're staking, you'll get access to the blog. And so we do replicate Patreon in that way. And then, of course, if you're staking too, there can be NFT airdrops, right? I mean, I think we can give use case to people that are artists that are pumping out NFTs. You can stake to support the artist, and then as a reward, they can just like airdrop NFTs. It's just another use case option, whether people want to act on it or not, that they can. And then, of course, we have one-time donations. Let me just go like, let me do a hard refresh because we just updated this. so it looks better than it does here. Okay, here it is. I told the team, get this updated before I'm on with Arcane Bear. So you can make a one-time donation through Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon. We're adding Bitcoin and other tokens that don't require the MetaMask address for normies. We want this to be normie friendly, this feature, as a way to like broaden our horizon. So if somebody gets in a car accident, they need $5,000, or they break their arm, they need quick money. That's where this comes in hand, and it will like activate the guerrilla style marketing practice. Of course, we charge 0% fees. This is more just generating goodwill in a way that people can monitor and meet goals, donation goals. And of course, you'd have a blog that underneath here, which they haven't added a blog post, so you can't see it, but like you could add a blog and just provide updates for your community, just like GoFundMe. And then of course, like in that situation, if it's just for a quick fundraising thing, you would not display any of your staking pools, right? Because you're not doing that. So you can customize what's displayed. So it could just be, you're just straight up a GoFundMe style, trying to meet a $5,000 requirement, and you can accept Bitcoin or all these different currencies down here. And this shows what you've raised in 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month. I know this is super basic, but we just launched. We're going to improve the user interface over time. So really our goal is just, we just want to be the ultimate donation platform, whether it's buying somebody's memes, whether it's one-time donations for the normies, you know, or whether it's stake to donate with recurring donations. I think all of these features can work hand in hand, and we're excited to see what ultimately the use case is. You know, right now, you know, it's, you know, these numbers are starting to add up, right? Like we finally have somebody that hit over 100,000 stake. That was cool to see, right? And especially somebody like Molyneux, who is an early adopter of Bitcoin. It's cool to see him jump on this project like this. And yeah, we just want to be the ultimate donation platform in crypto. We think we can revolutionize the way people donate. Nobody's donated like this before, as far as the stake to donate, recurring. You can't be censored by the big banks or PayPal. The ad we're going to launch is pretty fire, by the way. We're going to do it this week, but we'll do it next week instead. And yeah, we want to, like, you know, let those guys know that we're tired of being pushed around by PayPal. Like, we're tired of being pushed around by big tech. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. You can't talk about, you know, your personal health, and, you know.
Hey, you watch your mouth on my show.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying any of the words. I'm trying to avoid the words, but you know what I'm talking about. So some of what's going on is, like, we're in bizarro world. Right?
I have to agree with that. We don't talk about
this is clown world.
We're talking about Fight Club and Fight Club.
Yeah, we're living in clown world, and the CEO of PayPal and the ADL, who have partnered to blacklist people financially, are the head clowns. And they need, like, so I think
private enterprise in general is that they're under jurisdictional contracts with the governments that they operate, or the boundaries they operate within. And this is one of the arguments that's always been so stupid about social media to some degree, is that it's a private company, so they can just censor you. And although that is a valid argument, just like I'm a private company, if I don't want you to be like a customer here, I should be able to kick you out. Or at least as long as I'm not being discriminatory because of something that you are. Just like, I just don't like you. I can just not like people at a business. Or maybe I'm not even allowed to do that. I'm not sure. Maybe that's too discriminatory nowadays. Like, I just don't like you or something. But anyways, the point of this is that because that private company can provide shelter for right, you know, on a whole bunch of areas turning into abstractions. It's a really weird topic basis. And I agree. I think that it's really important to, you know, have funding in the social media content channels. Been looking at stuff like this in different areas where people can, you know, you've seen BitChute and 3Speak and a whole bunch of social platforms pop up around this ideal. And I think it's going to be whoever figures out how to do some of this stuff. You know, Naval had a really cool, some of his ideas around, you know, your blockchain would just be like, it just points you to the direction of all these different social chains, and no matter who the front end was. I think 3Speak was kind of a version of that too. So I definitely think there's room for this stuff. So it's fun to see what you guys have built here. Very interesting take. And I agree, you know, if something that's niche, like Snapchat, you know, very, very niche, like, hey, here's just basically videos that disappear. If you can distill it down into one core focus that's really easy for people to understand, you can definitely get that niche catch. And we've tried that a few times in our thesis, where we go out on limbs. We're like, okay, well, we don't know, maybe it's niche enough. Just to, you know, so just to see how things go. Well, that's fun. I'll be excited to see how the next steps go. I'll take a look and see about signing up and putting a platform that idea there. We've played around with the social tokens in the past as well, and the NFT sector. And again, you know, one of the other companies we were looking at the other day is the NFT plus platform, right? There's like a lot of these platforms don't have the social integration yet, so it's going to be a race for who builds those niche products and can build that niche community. I mean, first, so
yeah. I agree. A lot of what I've seen on that end has not impressed me. Some of it's great, but some of it is like, you know, we're sprinkles and we're all to everybody, and it's like, I don't know. Like, to me, there's no heart and desire and grit behind what I'm seeing. It's just all gloss. So, you know, we're the gritty ones over here. I think we can create our own culture and have a lot of fun and kind of make people like, even if you want to not look at us, we're going to make them look at us. I think that's where this is going. So I appreciate having me on the show. It's I've been watching you for like forever, basically, like since the last run. I remember watching you talk about how Bitcoin is going to change everything back in, like, I think 2017 probably. And
we started early 2017 that we turned on I started the Twitter channel a lot earlier, and then the YouTube channel turned on in March 2017.
Excellent. Yeah. So I've been watching you for a while, and it's cool to come on here. I think you know what we've done. We've created a whole new way to donate. So people are participating, people are into it, people love it. So yeah, we'll see where it goes and where the market goes. But,
I would love to see an A/B split test between the words donate and contribute, in terms of people's, like, the uptake of interest in those ideas. Because I you know, we kind of were chatting about this before, and I've spent a lot of time pondering how the charity sector could do better, and maybe more importantly, co-aligned with that is how can the for-profit sector do better by having integrated morals into the company structure effectively through marketing and advertising. Big quick shout out to people like Murph's Life, who have built this kind of direct to charity giving, you know, and I think there's a big welling wave coming of social focused content creation. I don't think it's here quite yet, but I think it's coming. And we've seen kind of the early swells of that come in over the last few years. So I think it's a highly productive focus, because effectively you should have that built into anything you're doing. It should have like a positive nature for the product and the business that you're building. So ideas like donation have a much older context of, you know, donations. I made a bunch of money this year, I'm going to give some of it away to ideas that aren't that are positive, because the work I've been doing has been like, the idea of giving penance was the idea that maybe the capitalism you were doing wasn't as like clean cut as it should have been, kind of shit. It was like anyways.
Yeah. Hey guys, change it to contribute.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you see this in companies do this all the time. They fly social ideologue flags effectively for activism, and they're like, oh, we support this, and they follow trends, and effectively there's nothing wrong with that. But more importantly, it should be the business goal, not just, hey, we do this as a marketing campaign. That's where you get things like whitewashing, or just, you know, the difference, or like the way companies express themselves more so than how they market themselves, which is kind of a different structure. But anyways, the idea here is that an idea like contribution is a much more supportive of the communities that you're building effectively as well. And then I'm fascinated to see what type of hit rate you'd get in terms of, are people contributing more, or do they actually donate more? Anyways, just a side thought.
That's a good. We should change it to contribute. I'm down with that. Like I told you before, we talked right before the show. Like we created these tools. They're donation tools. I mean, that was what we had in mind. A lot of people just link us with charities, But we created this for creators as a way to get paid without being financially blacklisted, essentially, was my motivation. So I think the tool can be used in all sorts of great ways. And, we're just exploring that. We're just getting into it, but we're not explicitly a charity site. We're not a charity token. That's a lot of people associate us with that.
Yeah, that's where the word donations causes confusion too. I think I tell everybody in the charity sector, I think contributions is the word we should be using.
I think you're onto something there. And the charity game is it's filled with like scams, frankly. I mean, so scams might be a strong word, but where you just you have to vet the charity.
Well, charity itself is a scam. You can't just keep giving money. It's totally unsustainable. The only real good charity should be a product. I really, really adore companies like Cotopaxi for stuff like this. If you haven't read Cotopaxi's story, I highly suggest checking it out. There's a few other companies like, have you ever heard of Life is Good or Life is Good? They're a t-shirt company. They do like $200 to $300 million a year in revenue from t-shirts, but they started their entire t-shirt company off of like, hey, life is good, things get difficult, and it was all stickman drawings. But what really helped them flourish, and I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, and this is what my aim is as well, is that the flourishing aspect comes from kind of a core philosophy of their business model, which is, like life is good, things get tough. And so they started to see that the culture that built around the people that like these t-shirts were the people that were had gone through extreme adversity and overcome all these troubles and persevered. And so they've got such a they created or they were a part of a movement, I guess, to some degree or another. And then I really like those kind of company dialogues. Cotopaxi is another one. They came out of nowhere, where this is just a fun kind of side part of the conversation, but Cotopaxi, for those people that don't know, they're an outdoor adventure brand they probably do around $400 to $500 million a year in revenue from selling like backpacks and shoes and stuff like this. And when they first started to try to raise money, they were up against like Patagonia and these big brands, monolithic brands in terms of the outdoor adventure space. And they got laughed out of a lot, or like pushed out of a lot of venture capital rooms in their early days. And big shout out to the early investors. But yeah, the idea here is that their goal was to sell the backpacks to help people. So what we're going to do with our budgets, like the goal of this company is to help like the people that we work with and our staff. So if you go to their YouTube page, they'll spend their marketing budgets on like a family member of one of the people that works in Bolivia is sick, and they'll fly them to the United States and they'll get them treatment for their bowel cancer. And that's how they spend their marketing budgets every year, is by helping the people that work for them and people in their local communities. But their initial core driver, like their business plan was, we help people by making backpacks, and through the revenue of that, spinning it into like our community collaboration. And I've really liked those stories of success, because they can overcome the adversity and the trials and tribulations that go along with the failures that happen along any business structure. Anyway,
Yeah.
side point.
You've put way more thought into the charity sector than I have, for sure. And so, we created this tool and we want people to benefit from it. I mean, it's pretty much that simple for us. So, obviously we'll have community pools, and we can, people can choose what charities they want to donate to through the community and things like that. But the companies that you're talking about I have a Life is Good shirt, right? I didn't even know the full story behind it until you just told me. So, but yeah, that's, they've obviously done a great job. But yeah, we're creating these contribution tools. See, donation tools flows a little bit better when you say that. Support tools, I don't know, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we just created these tools. I'm excited to see how people implement them. And I think charity is a big thing. And honestly, like there's people that have injuries from different things that are going on and stuff, and they're actually not allowed to fundraise right now. So come to us. You can fundraise with us.
Well, interesting niche thought there. Well, congratulations, Jesse. It looks good so far. It'll be interesting to see where you make it over the next little while. And I hear, yeah, we'll keep us up to date. Drop us the links. Give us a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this content. All the links are down below to join their Telegram, their Discord, or their Twitter. I think it was app.letsgo.finance as well if you wanted to take a look at the way the site's up and running right now. Awesome, Jesse. Great to chat with you today. Fun to banter around the conversation.
Thanks for having me, TJ. I really appreciate it.
Speaking of the chat.